Coming up, good news. A new hope: COVID vaccines could one day end the pandemic.
ITV Lunchtime News with Lucrezia Millarini.
Good afternoon. It's always been the hope that receiving a COVID vaccine would not just cut the chance of us falling ill, but would prevent us actually catching the virus in the first place. Well, now a study of more than 300,000 people has shown just that. A 65% drop after the first dose, potentially rising to 90% after the second. But in the face of the positive vaccine news, new restrictions on travel from India have come into force, aimed at stopping a new variant arriving here, which means 10 days of hotel quarantine for anyone flying in from the country. With all the details on all of that, here's our political reporter, Shihab Khan. Well, our science editor, Tom Clark, is here. Tom, let's start on that vaccine news. Obviously positive, good news. Was it expected?
There was coronavirus vaccine, and it's not 100% effective. So there will be millions of people in the UK, it probably adds up to, who aren't protected.
As ever, still that word of caution, isn't there?
That's right.
But on infection rates, we've got some new data out this lunchtime, which does show that cases are falling in England, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Well, the Welsh Government has announced a speeding up of their path out of lockdown. First Minister. Dozens of former post office workers who have had their lives irreparably ruined after being convicted of theft, fraud and false accounting because of failures of the post office's own systems have been cleared by the Court of Appeal. Some lost jobs, others homes and some marriages. But first, many potential parents deciding to start or grow their family through adoption might think twice about welcoming more than one child at a time. But now a charity is encouraging people to do just that, rather than breaking up brothers and sisters. Now, the huge sums that the government has borrowed during the pandemic have pushed the amount the country owes to its highest point since the end of the Second World War. The Office for National Statistics said that public sector borrowing reached over £303 billion in the financial year to the end of March. Well, Neil Connery is here. Neil, eye-watering numbers, but actually not as bad as predicted.
No, I mean, this increase when some COVID support loans fail to be repaid. I think the key question facing the wider economy is that the UK private sector is now growing at its fastest pace since 2013.
Neil, thank you. Retail sales rose faster than expected in March. Now, for almost 3 decades, Sir Elton John has been inviting his famous friends to his glamorous Oscar night party. The guest list normally reads like a who's who of Hollywood, but this year everyone is invited, albeit virtually. Sangeeta Kandola on perhaps the most exclusive Zoom party yet. Well, I might have to go. Finally, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have marked Prince Louis's 3rd birthday by releasing a photograph of their son pictured on his first day of nursery school. A reminder of our main story this lunchtime. And that's it. I'm back with the ITV Evening News at 6:30. The news where you are follows the weather, but from everyone on the lunchtime team, bye-bye. Hello again. Now the main stories in London. A schoolboy has been missing for 3 days after falling from Tower Bridge into the Thames on Tuesday. The Year 8 pupil who attends Arc Globe Academy in Southwark has not been found despite an intensive search by the City of London police. The parents of a 7-year-old boy who died after being electrocuted by faulty lighting in a pub beer garden have spoken exclusively to ITV London about the cruel loss of their beautiful son. The man's been arrested on suspicion of murder after a man in his 40s died after allegedly being hit by a car in Surrey. A goods train caught fire early this morning near Dunton Green train station in Sevenoaks. The bus routes in west and southwest London will be disrupted today. Drivers working for the operating company London United have gone on strike over pay. Earlier this year, we spoke to Janet Davies, a florist in Holborn. Right, weather now. Here's Chris. That's it. Ron K's back at 6. Bye-bye. The Prime Minister engulfed in an explosive row with his former chief advisor. This is a developing story this evening. We'll have the latest with our political editor, Robert Peston, also on the programme.
Evening News with Lucrezia Millarini.
Good evening. The bitter row between the Prime Minister and his former key advisor, Dominic Cummings, has erupted into an extraordinary public spat tonight. Mr Cummings accused Boris Johnson of trying to stop a leak inquiry because it allegedly affected one of the Prime Minister's allies. He also openly questioned the competence of Mr Johnson. It came after speculation that Mr Cummings was the source of leaked text messages between the Prime Minister and Sir James Dyson. Well, I'm joined now by our political editor, Robert Peston. So, Robert, what exactly is Mr Cummings alleging here?
So the first thing to say is Mr Cummings was the source of a series of, so far I may say, is relating to the fact that the Prime Minister, he says, was seeking to get help from...
Crisis, but just how serious is this for the Prime Minister?
Oh, I can't that he governs, as I say, in an unethical way, and more, I think, worryingly for the... which is the last thing the Prime Minister would want. So, yes, we are on the brink, I think, of weeks of damage.
Next tonight, dozens of postmasters who were wrongly convicted of fraud and theft finally had their names cleared by the Court of Appeal today. The shameful and long-running miscarriage of justice saw them prosecuted and in some cases jailed after a faulty computer system incorrectly showed money had gone missing. Well, many of the victims lost their businesses, their homes and their marriages. 3 died before they could be fully exonerated. A judge said the Post Office knew there were problems with the accounting system but steamrolled over anyone who questioned it. Now there are demands for a public inquiry. So Jill Carrier reports. India's desperate struggle with coronavirus has broken yet another grim record. Today it reported more than 330,000 new infections, the highest ever for the second day in a row. Hospitals are overwhelmed with the sick and dying. There's not enough beds for patients and oxygen is running short. And a warning that this report from Paul Davies contains some upsetting pictures. Well, that is quite a contrast with the picture here, where the success of the mass vaccination programme was given another major boost today. A study found that just a single dose of either AstraZeneca or the Pfizer vaccine reduces infections by nearly 2/3. It also protects older, more vulnerable people as much as the young and healthy. But scientists are still urging caution. Here's our science editor, Tom Clark. Still to come, those stories and more after the break. Welcome back. The US Justice Department says it expects to arrest more people over the riot and storming of Washington's Capitol building in January. Well, our correspondent Robert Moore and his team were the only TV news crew to enter the building with the mob. And in a special report, he looks at who the rioters were and whether America can defeat the enemy within. Well, you can see Robert's full investigation on Sunday evening at 10:25. Wales manager Ryan Giggs will not take charge of his team during this summer's Euros after being charged with assaulting 2 women. The ex-Manchester United star is due to appear in court next week. Our Wales correspondent... And finally, it's the Oscars this weekend, and the date's not the only thing forced to change by the pandemic. But Sir Elton John is determined it won't stop his Oscars party going ahead. It raises millions for his AIDS Foundation, and this year he's putting it on TikTok with 400,000 people invited. Well, Sir Elton's partner, David Furnish, told ITV News about their plans. Sangeeta Lal reports. Bells, whistles, sequins, the works. That is it for now. Tom will be here with the news at 10:30. Until then, enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.